You think you're in control, but the truth is, every time you click, you're giving away a piece of yourself. Not just your time, not just your focus, your identity. This isn't just about pixels on a screen. It's about your brain, your self-worth, and your future. What if I told you that the one habit you think is harmless is actually destroying the person you were meant to become? Welcome to this eye-opening journey, where we'll unravel how this addiction rewires your brain, damages your confidence, and erodes your sense of self silently, even when no one is watching. Backed by neuroscience, psychology, and real stories, this video is not just a warning, it's a wake-up call. Let's begin with a question. When you were 10, 12, maybe 15 years old, did you ever think you'd become dependent on artificial content to feel something? You didn't, because that's not who you are. But this addiction is subtle and surgical. It doesn't attack you all at once. It chips away at you, one dopamine hit at a time. Every time you indulge, the reward circuitry in your brain gets hijacked. What's meant for love, connection, and achievement gets rerouted towards isolation, shame, and screen-based pleasure. Neuroscience reveals that long-term use of explicit content reduces dopamine receptor sensitivity, meaning you feel less joy from everyday things. Talking to people, achieving goals, even looking at yourself in the mirror. You start needing more extreme content to feel the same thrill. And while your brain chases arousal, your identity begins to rot silently beneath the surface. You're not lazy, you're not broken. You're just chemically trapped in a feedback loop designed to make you feel worthless. So you keep coming back. Confidence isn't about loudness or muscles, it's about alignment, when your actions match your values. But when you're hooked on this addiction, your daily behavior clashes with who you want to be. You promise yourself you'll quit. You relapse. You feel guilt. You feel weak. This emotional roller coaster builds learned helplessness, the belief that you can't change. The result? You stop taking risks. You avoid eye contact. You become socially anxious. You doubt your worth in relationships, career, and even your own dreams. Scientific studies from Cambridge University show that prolonged exposure to explicit content shrinks gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for willpower, decision-making, and moral reasoning. You're not just watching videos, you're physically losing control over your mind. You were wired for more, but this industry, worth over $100 billion, profits from keeping you numb. It replaces real intimacy with illusion, real passion with passivity, and real love with loneliness. That's why, after a session, you don't feel empowered, you feel empty. Over time, the brain's reward system becomes desensitized, just like it does in drug addiction. And soon things like working hard, creating art, building relationships, loving someone, feel like chores, because the brain craves instant pleasure, not deep fulfillment. But here's the good news. Neuroplasticity is real. You can rewire your brain. Every day you go without, you regain focus, self-respect, clarity, confidence. Your dopamine baseline begins to stabilize. You find joy in small things again. You start talking to people with ease. Your identity comes back online. You become a man or woman who can say, I don't run from discomfort, I transform it. You don't need to be perfect. You need to start. This is more than quitting a habit. This is reclaiming your power, your self-worth, your destiny. And if no one told you this yet, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're just waking up. And today might be the first day of your real life.
Please like the video, subscribe the channel, and follow every point which I have mentioned in the video. Please share this video as much as you can, and I have a link in the description box of WhatsApp channel link where you can join and reclaim and reboot your brain. This is very powerful channel I have created.